Is the Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Today is January the 27th. It's a Thursday morning, and I'm joined by my guest, Mr. Jesse Shule of jesseshule.com. Jesse's coming off back-to-back 3-0 sweeps the last 2 days. I also, by the way, folks, 4-0 on Monday, 3-0 yesterday. So things are going good, and we hope we can cash in a couple of free picks for you today in college basketball, the NBA, excuse me. And before I get to that, Jesse, how are you, my friend?
I'm feeling pretty good, Ross. Things are coming together. December was a slow month for me, but I've picked up where I left off in 2022. Yeah, in January here, and I've taken over the top spot on plenty of leaderboards on plenty of sites.
Very good. I'm in the top 10 on most of them as well. So since January 1st, actually since December 27th, I've been on an absolute roll in all sports. And going back to August 10th of last year, 118-92 in all sports, and my dime bettors are up $15,670 during that course of time. So not quite what you've done over that period of time, but still making my clients money, and still a lot of money to be made. That's why guys like us, we cheer for each other. Yeah, we're competitive or we wouldn't be in this business. But the more Jesse Shules and Doug Upstones and Sean Higgs that are out there that win on a consistent basis and present themselves professionally, the better it is for the whole industry as a whole. And I especially are a big fan of anybody doing well in this industry, because we've had to overcome, Jesse, some black eyes and a precedence that's set before us. And by winning and presenting yourself professionally, that certainly should overcome that.
I absolutely agree, Ross. I think it takes more than one guy winning to make a website and to keep customers happy. And if your colleagues are picking up the slack when you're not feeling hot, that's better for business all the way around, better for everybody, better for the clients and the handicappers.
I agree. So in any event, we're discussing the NBA, as I alluded to. We got both games that will be nationally televised tonight on TNT. Jesse will be looking at the New York Knicks at the Boston Celtics game. Right now, the Celtics are an 8.5-point favorite to total 223. I'll be looking at the Dallas and Phoenix game. We'll start with you, Jesse. What do you got for us?
Well, Ross, before I get into my pick on this NBA game, I will say that I am currently the number one NBA handicapper all time at sports capping, based on win percentage with at least 1,000 games under my belt. I'm also number one at picks and parlays with NBA over the last 90 days. And one of the secrets to my success is to be very selective. I don't bet on NBA every day. I rarely bet on more than one game a day, and that has proven to be a successful recipe for me. But for tonight's game, we're looking at an Eastern Conference rivalry between the Knicks and the Celtics. The Celtics coming off back-to-back losses. They failed to score 100 points in both of those games. So you would expect Boston to come out at home here, ready to play. The Knicks are a formidable opponent on the road. Interestingly enough, New York has a better road record than they do at home, which is extremely rare in today's NBA. One of the recipes for success for the Knickerbockers is strong defensive play. I'm looking at the total here. It's sitting at 223.5. I'm looking at the last time these two teams played in Boston. The number was 205, and it went under. Boston won that game 99-75 last January. There's a history for these two teams playing low-scoring games. The under is 4-1 in the last 5 at the Garden. The under is 4-0 in Boston's last 4 overall, and the under is 5-1 in the Celtics' last 6 coming off a loss. Rather than backing the Celtics off a loss, I like to back their defense here, and I'm going to bet on the under.
There you go. The New York Knicks and Boston Celtics to go under the total of 223.5. That game does go at 7:40 Eastern time. Again, nationally televised on TNT. The second half of that doubleheader will be between the Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns, two teams, Jesse, that arguably are the biggest disappointments in the Western Conference to date. I mean, both are hovering around the 500 mark. The only difference is one team is hot right now and the other is not. Dallas is coming off a 1-3 homestand, and also the Dallas Mavericks 1-4 straight up in ATS in their last 5 on the road, and that includes 0-3 straight up in ATS if they were an underdog in that situation, those situations, I should say, and they lost those 3 games as an underdog by 15.3 points per contest. You know, I was sort of surprised to see this. You know, Dallas is 17-9 at home, but on the road, 8-15 straight up and 7-16 against the spread. They have not been a good home team or a road team, all season long. The Suns will be playing the finale of a 5-game homestand. In their first 4, they've gone 4-0 straight up in ATS in those contests, and the last of which was a 128-97 blowout win over the Charlotte Hornets. And the last meeting came on 12-5 between these two teams, and Dallas came away with a 130-111 home win. The Suns are currently minus 120 on the money line. And since 2020-2021, since that season began, the Suns have gone 39-6 straight up as a money line home favorite of 250 or less, which they fall in that category in this game. And here's an NBA betting angle as it applies to the money line. NBA money line favorites like the Suns that are playing with same season revenge stemming from a road loss by 10 points or more. Remember, I mentioned Dallas won the last meeting 130-111 on their home floor, and they're coming off a home win by 20 points or more. The Suns coming off that blowout win over Charlotte. Those teams in that situation have gone 36-5 straight up since the start of the 2018-2019 season. That's good for 87.8%. I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns here on the money line, minus 120 over the Dallas Mavericks. And Jesse Shule, he is on the Boston and New York game this evening to go under the total of 223.5. Jesse, what do you got coming up today? What may you have coming up on the weekend? And tell the folks where they prefer they can find you.
They can find me at jesseshule.com and at Jesse Shule on Twitter. And tonight I have 2 plays. I got 1 college hoops, 1 NBA. And as far as your play there on the Phoenix Suns, Ross, I will point out that I had the Suns in that big win over Charlotte. Chris Paul's back for them a few games now. He had 11 assists against the Hornets. And DeAndre Ayton is listed as probable for tonight's game. So I really like that pick, and I think they're in good shape. So you should be looking good there.
Thank you, Jesse. There you go. A validation from one of the best in the industry, which always makes me feel better. In any event, we will be back tomorrow, or I'll be back later this afternoon, with Doug Upstone. We'll be covering the NBA games on Friday. And then tomorrow I'll be back with Sean Higgs in the morning covering college basketball. Are you on with me tomorrow, Jesse? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I'm looking forward to a 3-way with Higgs next week.
Yeah. In any event, folks, until the next time, for Jesse Shule and Ross Benjamin, we like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Take care and God bless.